Kia ora, welcome. This video is to give you information about the relationship and sexuality curriculum, Mātauranga Hōkākatanga at Ilam School. My name is Tania Kenworthy and I currently teach in the senior school in room 2. Ilam's karakia. Tū taua mai e runga, tū taua mai e raro, tū taua mai e roto, tū taua mai e waho, kia tau ai te Māori tū, te Māori ora ki te katoa. Humi e, hui e, taiki e. Sexuality education is one of the 7 areas of learning in the health and physical education area of the New Zealand curriculum, which also includes mental health, food and nutrition, body care and physical safety, physical activity, sports studies and outdoor education. This document, Relationships and Sexuality Education, revised in 2020, is a Ministry of Education guiding document for our practice and approach to the teaching and learning of health. The 3 elements of a comprehensive relationship and sexuality education include knowledge, so that students are aware what is happening to their bodies, hopefully before it happens, that they are given the correct and accurate information to make the best choices. Skills, to know what and how to deal with situations when they finally arise, i.e. periods, wet dreams, crushes, communicating in relationships. Attitudes and values, building healthy and positive attitudes around their physical and mental changes. Relationship and sexuality education is not about teaching values, but encouraging students to explore values and to build empathy and an open mind to diversity. Key learning is aligned with the objectives in the health and physical education learning area grouped under the 3 categories shown in green. All about me, friendships and relationships with others, and me and the world. At Ilam, we use the Navigating the Journey, Te Takahi e Te Ara resources to support our relationship and sexuality education teaching. These resources use the metaphor of navigation to describe a person's lifetime journey of growth and learning, with the landscape representing the social, cultural and physical landscape through which we each navigate. It also highlights the idea of a holistic approach with the concept of horora, shown by the Te Whare Tapawhā model of health and well-being, symbolised in the journey with the whare, or house, which is developed by Sir Mason Jury. The whare has 4 sides, the 4 dimensions of horora: mental and emotional well-being, for example, how they may feel towards the same or opposite sex, gender identity, crushes and mood swings; social well-being, peer pressure, body image, self-worth, communication and relationships; spiritual well-being, beliefs, morals, values and culture; and physical well-being, physical and pubertal change. What is sexuality? Sexuality is not about sex education, although when a lot of people see the word sexuality, they only focus on the first 3 letters. Sexuality is a part of our personal identity and includes our values, attitudes and behaviours. Everyone has a sexuality. Sexuality is about self-worth, relationships and intimacy, feelings and emotions, communication, and specifically for us, the 4 Ilam definition bullets. It aims to provide students with the knowledge, understanding and skills to develop positive attitudes towards sexuality and to enhance their interpersonal relationships. Ilam School defines sexuality as knowing yourself as a unique individual, being comfortable with who you are, having a sense of belonging, and communicating your needs and wants. These 4 bullets outline Ilam's purpose and our sexuality definition, plus they sit with our school values and vision. The whetū, or Southern Cross in the metaphor, symbolises the 5 learning themes which are used throughout the program. These are establishing a positive learning environment, who am I, relationships, growing and changing, and staying safe. The centre pages of the handout contains an overview of the 5 themes at each curriculum level, so you can see how the program progresses from level 1, which is year 1 and 2, up to level 6, which is year 10. It is important to understand that even though we are sharing a relatively new program with you, we have always taught sexuality in the health curriculum. Previously, some of you might recall Kia Kaha, or Keeping Ourselves Safe, which were anti-bullying and safety programs run by the New Zealand Police, or puberty lessons. That word even now is enough to make many adults cringe. The new guidelines and curriculum support programs allow for a more cohesive and meaningful health education, which reflects modern real life and the current needs of the student. The first theme across the top row in the handout is establishing a positive learning environment. Of note, all lessons for sexuality are whole class with their own classroom teacher, which is the one they have a relationship with. The teacher creates an atmosphere of trust and support so students can openly share their ideas and ask questions safe from criticism and embarrassment. Questions will be answered when appropriate without judgment or disapproval and in an age appropriate manner that fits with the relationship and sexuality curriculum based program used at Ilam School. The second theme is Who Am I? This focuses on understanding our personal sense of self-worth and what affects this. This is particularly important during the lead up to adolescence, as this is often where young people become increasingly interested in what others think of them and aware of messages about aspects of their self, such as their body image. Children see stereotypes around gender and relationships across all forms of media, including TV, movies, music videos, radio, internet, billboards, magazine, clothing, video games, etc. As adults, we become almost immune or used to seeing these images, but young people who are becoming more aware of their changing bodies will pay more attention and notice these images far more than we would. It's important to balance body image concerns with affirming messages about diversity and individuality, fostering resilience and increasing their ability to be comfortable with themselves as well as with others. Definitions are used with older students like biological sex, which is how a person is classified based on genitals, etc., and gender identity, our sense of where we sit on the gender binary spectrum, including the term transgender. The term intersex is also introduced, defined as some people born with internal or external body parts that are not completely male or female. It is important to be aware that at least 1 in every 2,000 people are intersex. Theme 3 is all about relationships. We have different types of relationships, including family relationships, friendships, acquaintanceships, professional and romantic relationships. Positive relationships are central to our well-being and happiness, giving life meaning and purpose. Becoming aware of the importance of roles and responsibilities in relationships enhances a sense of belonging and self-worth. Relationship and sexuality education focuses on the components of healthy relationships, developing interpersonal skills to manage relationships, plus how we communicate and make decisions. It is about expressing our thoughts and feelings in ways that others hear and understand us, to develop the skills to respond assertively to challenging situations and keep their personal integrity and positive relationships intact. At years 5 and 6, this includes body ownership and consent lessons, which is in Theme 5 for years 1 to 4. The fourth theme is growing and changing. For our junior students, this is about how their bodies work and grow so they can take care of themselves and feel comfortable with changes. Learning the correct terminology for body parts helps children communicate and ask questions with confidence. For our middle school students, this theme develops the understandings from level 1 and looks generally at how bodies change during puberty and beyond. It supports developing a positive body image and being comfortable with our body shape and size. It also explores hygiene habits and the benefits of exercise. In the senior school, this theme focuses on pubertal change that includes physical, emotional, social, and spiritual development, many of which are interrelated. At year 5 and 6 level, we discuss both male and female reproductive systems. Conception and pregnancy will follow on during intermediate and high school. The following slide gives examples of label diagrams that we use. The box on the left shows examples of the names of body parts used with the students, and the larger box on the right is examples of label diagrams and activities undertaken in the senior school. Theme 5 is all about staying safe. A previous program we've used from the New Zealand Police was called Keeping Ourselves Safe, which has the same general goals. This theme is all about giving students the idea that they are the boss of their own body, to learn a range of skills to use when interacting with others so they can feel confident, empowered, and safe. It's about consent and being able to identify safe and unsafe touching, to be able to say no confidently, to move away and report what has happened. Moving up the school, they can confidently identify potentially unsafe situations in both the real world and the digital environment. They also gain an awareness of who can help and support them in the community. As with many of the other themes, learning in this area is not solely done during formal health lessons. Rather, ideas are introduced and then referred to whenever the students will be able to make meaningful links, like here with the Ilam School bullying poster and the Senior Ilam Digital Citizenship Agreement. To summarise, our relationship and sexuality program aims to mark puberty as a normal, natural occurrence that occurs in everyone's lives, to encourage greater understanding and sensitivity about changes in both males and females, to encourage greater acceptance of individual difference and diversity in adolescent physical and emotional changes, to encourage discussion and communication with trusted adults around sexuality-related issues, to explore and continue to develop values and attitudes around sexuality, and to establish a safe environment that allows students to discuss sexuality openly and comfortably. There are a range of views about the place of relationships and sexuality education. The Relationship and Sexuality program does not make value-based judgments, and Ilam School tries exceptionally hard to respect differences in culture and religion, upholding the Celebrating Diversity statement of intent. In Aotearoa, New Zealand, teaching health and physical education is compulsory in years 1 to 10. Your rights. You have the right to write to your school's principal and request that your child is excluded from any particular part of relationships and sexuality education. Please ask for specific information if you have a concern, and we may be able to allay your fears. Where parents or caregivers wish to withdraw their child from relationships and sexuality education, they must advise the principal in writing. Thoughts to leave you with. Parents and caregivers are the primary sexuality educators of children. Teachers are just here to support. As parents, you already teach attitudes and values, hygiene, privacy, parts of the body, love, and touch. Your children will want to talk with you about values, for example, what yours are and where you stand on different things. Sexuality education should be a continuous process. It needs to be taught every day with casual discussions, making it normal rather than the big talk, which can be embarrassing for all involved and not always have the outcome you wanted. There's no such thing as too late. Don't worry that you should have already discussed everything. Use this talk as a prompt to be able to start the conversation. Be askable. Look for teachable moments and topics arising naturally. Often being guided by questions is a solid approach. Answer just what children ask and perhaps a little bit more. Then wait for the next question to know how much more they are ready to process. Casual discussions, and you might have to bring things up if they don't ask questions. Be comfortable saying the proper words for body parts. On your handout, there is a link to the Open and Honest Workbook, information and activities for parents and puberty-age young people. This has simple labelled diagrams of body parts and other factual information, plus some at-home activities that can support you. Be honest about what you know or don't know. Your children don't expect you to have all of the answers, and by offering to help find out, this can bolster your relationship, and it role models the idea that we are all lifelong learners. Build and maintain a trusting relationship with your children by respecting your child's privacy and confidentiality, which will help foster a stronger relationship as they get older. As much as it might be tempting, avoid telling funny or embarrassing stories about your children. Acknowledge your own views, and the others' views can be different, and that's okay. We are all unique. The back of the handout has some links for further information, or if you have any questions, please contact your classroom teacher who will happily answer any questions. Ko te ahurei o te tamati arahia o tātou mahi. Let the uniqueness of the child guide our work. Thank you for listening, and I hope this talk has been helpful. Ka kite anō.